What's up, y'all? So we finally got it today. We finally got the Superman trailer 2. And I'm talking the first full Superman trailer. Not like a little teaser, which was incredible. But we finally got the trailer. Guys, I texted my cousin when it came out. And I told her, I'm like, this looks like one of the best superhero movies of all time. And she goes, same, I'm so excited. Bruh, this may be James Gunn's best movie. I know I'm saying that based off of what? 2 trailers and a 5-minute clip. But, bruh, like, I love Henry Cavill. You guys know this. I've made it very clear that I am very, 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 very excited for Henry Cavill's Warhammer series and his Highlander reboot with Chad Stahelski, and I'm very excited to see what he does next. But his Superman was not the Superman that I grew up with. When I see Superman, right, I envision this Superman. Superman that doesn't care about politics, doesn't care about what he has to do to save people, right? I love this is going to be a longer video, guys. Because you guys know how hype I am for James Gunn's new DCU, right? You guys know how much I loved Creature Commandos, if you've been here for a while, right? So, I love the way this trailer starts. I have multiple scenes in this where I love it. Like, it was a great trailer. For me, I love the way this trailer opens with Lois and Clark. We find out that Lois and Clark, so Rachel Brosnahan and David Cornsweet's Lois and Clark, have been in a relationship, like a romantic relationship, for 3 months, right? And she's like, you can't be serious, Clark. You're gonna let me interview you as Superman? She's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, let's do it. And then I love the fact. And then she, like, puts her hands together, like, she hits the record button, because, and she puts her hand together like this, and then she goes, are you ready? And then she goes, Superman, and then David Cornsweet almost does, like, the easiest thing I can compare it to is either, like, if you guys have seen Christopher Reeve Superman, or rest in peace to Kevin Conroy, and rest in peace to Christopher Reeve. But if you guys have seen those 2 performances, they made Clark Kent and Superman 2 different people, right? Like, Batman and Bruce Wayne were 2 different people when Kevin Conroy is playing him, right? Superman and Clark Kent are 2 different people when Christopher Reeve is playing him. David Cornsweet here does the exact same thing. Like, I love that, because so Clark is sitting like this, and then he goes, yes, Miss Lane, and then they start talking. So she goes, you've been under a lot of fire lately, Rick Flag, well, she doesn't say Rick Flag Sr., but we know it's Rick Flag Sr. Rick Flag Sr. is going to look into you, right? Because Rick Flag Sr. now is, like, the director of, I forget what they call it, but he's the director of Argus now, right? Like, he's high up. He's, like, high up in the government. So they're like, he's gonna look into you now. And Clark goes, I stopped a war. And she goes, yes, you stopped a war in not an American country. Did you talk to a president first? Right? And he goes, no. And then, because what I like about this too is this is very Lois Lane, right? Like, Lois Lane isn't going to sugarcoat with Clark, even though they're dating, and she knows that he's Superman, and she knows that he's doing the right thing. She's doing her job as a reporter here, too, right? She's not sugarcoating. She's being a good reporter, right? Like, a good reporter asks questions that sometimes the interview subject, because I want to get into radio one day, so I follow a lot of, like, I watch a lot of interviews, and, like, even my dad does sales, and my mom, my parents are both in business, right? When they're interviewing people, they ask sometimes questions that people don't want to answer, not because they don't want to make they want to make the person feel uncomfortable, but because they have to. It's their job, right? So that's what I like about Lois here. Like, she's not sugarcoating anything. Like, she's asking Clark what she needs to ask him. So then she goes, do you think that was a good idea, Superman? And he goes, yes. I'm paraphrasing here, right? I've watched the trailer like 6 times, but I don't know all the lines in it yet, right? And then she's like, "Are you sure, Superman? Because people hate you now." And he's like, "That's not important, Miss Lane. What's important is I saved lives. People would have died, right?" And David Cornsweet has a stage presence. Like, I haven't reviewed Twisters on my country channel yet, but I'm going to one day. David Cornsweet's presence here, like, when he goes, "People died," you can feel it through the trailer. And throughout this interview part of it, where Lois is interviewing Clark, we get, like, a bunch of scenes of Clark stopping the war. So he's somewhere in the Middle East, and he has to fight, I forget what they call him, but he has to fight, like, a big, it's not Lex Luthor, but he has to fight, like, a big, and we'll talk about Lex Luthor in a minute. Yeah, this is gonna be a long video, guys, I'm just letting you know now. He has to fight, like, a big guy in an exosuit, right? Called the Hammer of Baravia, right? And so probably my favorite moment in the trailer is, like, Clark gets knocked down by the Hammer of Baravia, and then people are like, Superman, Superman, Superman. Because remember, guys, this is a Superman that's still fairly new to his career, but not year one. Like, he's like in the same area of, like, being the superhero vigilante as Batman Robert Pattinson is, right? So he's like year 2 of being Superman, right? So people know who he is. So one of the civilians is like, Superman, 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 please get up. And so he gets up, and then the hammer comes, like, then it says, then he goes, "Hey buddy, look at me," or "look up," or something like that. So then he jets off and punches the Hammer of Baravia in the face. And that's the action in this, bro, was insane. We get a look at how they're doing Green Lantern constructs in this, which I'm very, 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 very excited for Nathan Fillion playing Guy Gardner, y'all. I am very, very, very excited for that. And then we get the Lex Luthor stuff. Now, Nicholas Hoult is an underrated actor, bro. If you've seen movies like The Order or Nosferatu or anything else that he's been in, like even his X-Men stuff, I hated Dark Phoenix like most people did, but I think he was a good beast, right? But in this, like, you can tell Lex's hatred for Superman, especially one line that Lex says. He goes, "He is not a man, he is an it." And I'm very interested to see if Lex had anything to do with the attack in Baravia, right, that Clark stopped. And then we get a shot of Mr. Terrific. If you don't know who Mr. Terrific is, he's basically like as smart as Batman. So he's basically, I'm gonna assume, which we'll get more into this when I talk about the Peacemaker Season 2 trailer, because I'm gonna record these back to back. I'm gonna record this and post it for you guys right after I'm done recording it. Then I'm gonna record the Ironheart trailer today and maybe upload that as well. And I'm also gonna record a Peacemaker Season 2 trailer breakdown because I forgot to do it last week. So yeah, you guys are gonna get a lot of superhero content from on this channel this week, if that's okay with you, because I love my superhero stuff, as you guys know. So Mr. Terrific is basically, like, it seems like he's basically this team's, the Justice Gang, they call them. He's basically their Batman, right? Which, he's basically their tactician, their leader, right? And, because I don't think Superman is part of the Justice team, or Justice Gang, yet. I think this movie inspires Clark to start a Justice League. That's what I'm theorizing that, because again, I've seen as much as you guys have seen. I've seen 5-minute clip and 2 trailers. But yeah, so like, one of my other favorite moments is, Pa Kent is like, Clark, your choice, you make your own choices. That's what makes you you. And that is a classic Pa Kent line. And then, I just love this trailer, y'all. Like, for me, like, the action looks top tier. The cinematography looks top tier. And this looks like one of the best superhero movies in years, right? I think the best superhero movie, well, there's been 2 that have, like, topped my list, right? Deadpool and Wolverine, which I saw 3 times in theaters, by the way. And the Batman, like the first Batman movie for Robert Pattinson and Matt Reeves. Those 2 movies, I hope this movie joins that level of superhero movie, right? For me, like, and you guys know how much of a nerd I am, right? So I just love what James Gunn is doing here, because this looks like the Superman that I grew up with, and it gets me very, 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 very excited for this movie that comes out 3 days after your boy turns 23. So this will be, it comes out July 11th. My birthday's on July 8th. So this will be probably my first movie as a 23-year-old. And I'm very, 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 very excited for that. And yeah. So what would I give this trailer out of 10? I would give it a 10 out of 10. And stay tuned for all the other trailer breakdowns that I have coming. Like, again, as I said, the Ironheart trailer, the Peacemaker Season 2 trailer, and I'm also going to review the Charlize Theron movie, The Old Guard, because The Old Guard 2 comes out in June, and I haven't seen it before, so I decided to watch the first one last night, and I'm going to be reviewing that for you as well, and I'm also going to be reviewing the sequel to The Old Guard when it comes out on July 2nd. So yeah, thank you so much for all your support. And again, sorry for the long video. And I hope you have a great day. And goodbye.